Okay. Well, Nintendo got a Nintendo Switch 2 got a boost in handheld mode. What do you think of that?
That's an awesome update. Um,
It can now play as if it's docked while it's in handheld mode. I didn't know exactly
or
what
for
boost
Switch
mode
One
was.
for Switch One games.
Yeah, for Switch One games. I didn't know exactly what boost mode was, so I looked up a video before we did this discussion, and there's other stuff to it, but like boost mode is definitely the one that people are mostly talking about. And since we're talking about it, I had to make a funny image for us today, which is somebody giving the Switch 2 a boost on the swing.
No, this is awesome because obviously the Switch One has a massive library, and not all these games are going to get patches for the Switch 2. But, obviously all these Switch 1 games, they had to have two configurations. They had to have a handheld configuration that was, maxed out at 720p and a docked configuration that maxed out at 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a clever way to try to make some of those older games look better um,
Yeah.
on the Switch 2
Even some of
in
Nintendo's
handheld.
first party games are getting a boost from it.
Yeah.
Um, Now Splatoon 3 and Splatoon 2, I don't think they ever needed a boost mode. I think they've always ran fine in dock and handheld, but
Yeah.
it's definitely good for the other games that need it.
Did Splatoon 3 ever get any kind of like 4K patch?
It didn't get a 4K patch, but it did get a patch that um improved frame rate and loading times. I think
On
that's what.
when played on Switch 2?
Yeah, and
Got it.
for some reason they swapped out the loading screen graphic, like the old graphic that's on the yield corner. I have no idea why they did that. Nintendo never uh, updates their loading screens, but for some reason, this one time on Splatoon 3, they decided to update the loading screen. This is a really random thing. They've never done it before.
Yeah.
Also, they made it easier for you to invite friends to the game chat as well. That was also part of the update. All right.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think boost mode is good. And obviously I think it's good that it's toggleable, like because they do have a little disclaimer that's like, you know, this might eat your battery faster.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's like people were doing when they were hacking the Switch 2 and they were uncapping it. It's sort of it reminds
hmm
me of that.
Yeah. And I think if you're playing like games with like retro looks, like you probably don't need it.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't need it if you're playing a Game Boy game.
Yeah, or like, any kind of pixel art game. You might see a little difference, but I don't know if it's like going to be enough to be worth it. Versus something Xenoblade, like Xenoblade 2, where the
Yeah,
game just traditionally has always kind of struggled in handheld mode and like
you're playing a you're playing a Monolith Soft game that pushes the Nintendo's hardware to its absolute limits. Or
hmm
you're playing I don't know. It probably helps out with Resident Evil Requiem as well. There's another game that is pushing the Switch hardware to its limits.
I don't think it has any effect on Switch 2 games though.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. But that is a game that you probably would want boost mode on. But yeah, you can't use it on
Yeah.
it.
I don't know, maybe like the Switch version of like RE5.
Maybe it already looks good in handheld mode. Maybe it doesn't need boost. It already looks good in handheld.